We will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
An ongoing promise from President Donald Trump to deport people who are in America illegally. So now that he's president, what happens next? According to a Pew Research study, Americans cite crime, fairness, and limited resources as reasons undocumented immigrants should be deported. So as President Trump settles in during his first few days of office, millions of people eagerly wait and see if he'll in fact carry out his mass deportation plans. This is especially true for those in the agriculture industry who heavily rely on undocumented immigrants.
Washington is the largest producer of apples and sweet cherries, and orchard owners in the state are scared about what President Trump's plan could mean for the homegrown harvest. Marissa Rio met with a few of Washington's fruit growers and shares how they say this could affect you.
It's a Friday afternoon and a brisk 40 degrees here at Stein-Mansana Orchard in Royal City. As rays of sunlight shine through the branches, these orchard workers are pruning apple trees.
So we have to take all the bigger stuff, like this stuff is not going to be no fruit, so we have to come back where it's fruit.
This is Jose Ramirez. Not only does he manage Stein-Mansana, but he also owns his own orchard in Royal City.
I'm still employed because I need to support my family. And the orchard is, it's making enough money to pay the bills, but not enough to support my family.
So today, Jose is pruning the branches. But as he laughs with the other workers, a silent fear lingers in his mind about President Trump's campaign promise to deport millions of undocumented immigrants.
There's people that are going to be taken away if this happens. So it's going to be detrimental to this industry and other industries that people work on.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, roughly half of the nation's hired crop farm workers lack legal immigration status. Stein-Mansana General Manager Dane Craver is well aware.
So if we had a mass deportation, we would lose most of our workforce.
Both Dane and Jose say mass deportations wouldn't only affect their business, but it would also affect you and I and the produce that we buy.
It will skyrocket. Prices be probably twice as much what it is now.
Many growers depend on undocumented workers because Jose says the work is strenuous and pay at this orchard is about $20 an hour. Other orchards pay less.
If regular American people come and do this job, it's going to be more costs in top of what we have already.
Karina Gallardo is a professor and extension specialist at Washington State University's School of Economic Sciences. She says if orchards were to instead rely on guest worker programs like H-2A, that would also cost more money. She said foreign workers under the H-2A program must be paid a minimum of $19.25 an hour here in Washington.
You have to add to this rate the fixed costs associated with bringing H-2A workers, in especially housing, administration costs, transportation, and so on, which adds about $4.5 per hour.
H-2A workers are also only here seasonally, leaving growers in need when they're not in harvest. Without undocumented immigrants, Jose says the effects can go well beyond inflation.
Slowly, we're going to probably be out of business. This orchard that I work for, other people that have smaller places, they're going to go out of business.
Without these orchards,
probably outsource it. We have regulations in place here to kind of not use illegal or really toxic chemicals. And if we outsource stuff from other countries, they don't have these regulations. Then you and I be eating stuff that's not very safe.
There is this belief that undocumented immigrants working here in the orchards or the farms or the fields are taking away American jobs. But Dane, Jose, and experts tell me that's not the case. Karina said there's clear evidence of this when you look at the H-2A program.
The H-2A program also mandates that the employer advertises the job positions for a number of days, and Nobody responds to those calls.
The Washington State Tree Fruit Association echoes that message.
This last year, there was 36,000 individual jobs in Washington state agriculture that could not be filled through that open public process. And so that's a pretty clear evidence that we're not getting the domestic applicants for well-paying jobs in agriculture.
This is something Dane has experienced firsthand.
Well, I've been in this industry for 46 years, and about after the first 10, I never had an Anglo person ever pick apples for me or even pretty much run orchards. They're not taking American jobs.
And how many of your employees are undocumented?
Right now, I think I have all my people documented, but it been in times when harvest comes, I hire a bunch of people, so I don't know. I don't know how many people can be illegal. Because we have to go through the process in hiring, and we have to make sure they provide us with documentation. And if that documentation looks good, we hire them.
There's nothing these growers and workers can do now, though, but wait. But as Jose remains patient, fears still linger in his mind. He asks those in power to help undocumented workers gain legal status instead of deporting them.
It's going to make this country better.
All right, Marissa Rio joins us now in studio.
And Marissa, one reason people gave for why they want undocumented immigrants deported is limited resources. But as you were working on this story, there's something really interesting that you learned that provides more context to that point.
Yeah, so with this documentation that these workers are giving, they're paying taxes just like everyone else. In fact, undocumented immigrants paid over $96 billion in local, federal, and state taxes in 2022, but they're not eligible for any of the programs that they're funding.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much.